Hello everyone and welcome to our webinar Discover JetSMART in Sabre. My name is Jose and I will be moderating today's session. This session will run for 60 minutes, a 45-minute presentation followed by a 15-minute live Q&A. Feel free to drop your questions at any time using the Q&A feature. We will answer as many as we can during and at the end of the session. We are also recording today's webinar and we will share the link with you as soon as it's available on our YouTube channel. Now, let's meet our speakers. From JetSMART, we have Cristian Hidalgo, Head of Distribution, and from Sabre, we are joined by Victoria Tuonon, Senior Product Training Specialist. Please don't forget to stay until the end. JetSMART will be raffling 2 gift cards. With that said, let's get started. Cristian, over to you.
Thank you very much, Jose, and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. Let me share my screen real quick so that we can get on with the presentation. Can you please just confirm if okay.
All good, Cristian.
Great, thanks. All right, again, thank you very much, everyone, for joining. This is going to be a presentation for you to for us to show you what's the JetSMART content in Sabre, how does it look like, to let you know a little bit about the airline, about our commercial policies, maybe give you a little bit of tips how to sell JetSMART, and why is it a good idea for you to begin promoting our content, because I think it's going to be very interesting for your clients, and I think it's going to be good for everyone. So let's begin. So I don't know if you've heard of JetSMART before. We're already in Sabre for a couple of months. We started on April this year, and so I think it was timely to give you this presentation to now that we are already a couple of months in the market, for you to understand who we are and what is the product that we offer. So we're part of the Indigo Partners investment group. They have over 20 years of experience. Maybe you haven't heard of JetSMART before, but probably you have heard of Volaris. You have heard of Frontier in the US. There's also Wizz Air in Europe and Cebu Pacific in Southeast Asia. We are all low-cost carriers that with the same investment group. So there's like a lot of experience, not only the what JetSMART is in the market. We're a pretty young airline so far, but we are part of this huge investment group of Indigo Airlines. So what do we want to achieve in the very close future? To connect 100 million people in South America with very low fares. So the main goal for us is we have a lot of people in the region, and of course there must be some people in the United States, even though in the US the airline market's a little bit more developed. But we want to more people to access to the airline market, because at least in our region, what we see is that a lot of people are just having their first flight, and we want to offer that opportunity to reach more people via the low fares that we offer. And of course, once you see the product that we offer, of course, we want you to promote your clients to also give it a go, give it a try with JetSMART. That's the goal of what we're going to be talking about here. So we want to reach 124 aircraft by 2031. We have so far 48 aircraft as of yesterday, because yesterday 2 planes just arrived for some new routes that we are inaugurating. It's a very aggressive fleet plan, but it's how can I say this? It's already working. I mean, this aircraft is already has already been requested. So what we have to do, and we are doing right now, is moving this fleet to cover the markets that we see fit in a region. We already have operation. We were gonna see, but we have a operation in Chile, in Peru, in Colombia, as domestic markets, and we have a lot of international flights. We'll see a little bit more uh, ahead in the presentation, but just to show you a little bit of the fleet plan, which is very aggressive and very fun to have. What's the JetSMART model look like? The aircraft that we use, they're new. The average is gonna be 3 years. When you jump into a JetSMART airplane, it's gonna be, yeah, 3 year old average, max 5 years. It's part of the model. It actually makes us to be very efficient in terms of fuel. Simplicity, we want to offer a model that's very simple to use. If you guys go to our website, it's actually pretty fast to move in the in choosing product, choosing your planes. It's gonna be very easy. Also in the GDS, it's gonna be very simple, and you will see when we present a little bit more of the product. The model is pay for what you use. It's a very low cost model. Of course, if you just want the seat, you will have the seat. If you want the baggage, you can have the baggage. I mean, you can make it your own way. That's part of the core of JetSmart. And of course, we have created some very specific products for Sabre, for the GDS in general. And but the spirit is the same, that you pay only for what you want to use. Fly more, pay less, and that's about what I mentioned earlier. We want to more people get into the airline market to fly and not be restricted by the budget. About the aircraft that we use Airbus. We have most of our fleet. It's based on the 320 Neo NCO, and we just received the Neo last year. We already have 11 aircraft 321. They're very efficient and actually very comfortable. What we have in our as our seats, it's a pre-reclined seat, which is very comfortable for regional flights. I think it's just perfect. We don't think it's gonna be um, we're gonna need of too much of a fancy seat. It's actually very comfortable. You will see in our aircraft this very particular characteristic, that all of our fleet have a different each airplane has a different animal in the tail, and it's representative of fauna from South America. My personal favorites, the condor, the capybara, which is very also the colibri. What's the colibri word in English? I
I
don't
think it's
remember right now.
hummingbird.
Hummingbird, yeah, thank you very much. The hummingbird is also one of my favorites. The whales, which are now in season, if you wanna go to Argentina or Chile, we have there's like it's whale season. We have also the whale in one of the tails. So it's very fun to see which animal you have in this flight. Um, and this is some good news that we had just yesterday in Paris. They just announced that we won for a third time as best low-cost carrier in South America. That makes it 2021, 2023, and 2025 that we've received this award. We're very proud to receive this. And as I'm telling you, actually, Jose was mentioning was requesting the last version of this slide, because we just got this news yesterday, and it's great news that we're very proud of to receive. We're also the newest fleet in South America by CH Aviation. That's 2025. That's also very recent. This one is not very recent, but it's very good news for you. We have a partnership agreement with American Airlines. Actually, American Airlines is right now one of our shareholders, and we have a redemption alliance right now. and you can earn miles with every JetSMART flight. And also, as of last week, you can also redeem Advantage miles in our website. So you can use your American Airlines earned miles and use them in JetSMART flights. So those both are great news, and they're very recent as well. Now, regarding our routes, these are the countries that we get to in JetSMART. So we have operations in Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, in Chile, in Brazil, in Paraguay, Uruguay, in Argentina. In some countries, as I mentioned, we have domestic operations. These are the international routes. Wait, no, this is actually the whole network. Um, yeah, but just to be a little bit more specific, as I mentioned, we have 17 national domestic routes in Chile, have six in Peru, who have 16 in Argentina. If you want to go to enjoy the Patagonia or um, or actually the desert in Argentina in the north, that's also pretty fun. In Colombia, we have San Andres if you feel like going to the beach, or Cartagena as well, or maybe for the coffee parts of Colombia, Medellin, Pereira, Cali, which is also very very fun to visit. Um, oh, sorry, just I would just maybe let's go a little bit back to the international routes if you want to check and maybe take a quick picture to see your next destination for vacations and I don't know, maybe for holidays or for December, which is very very close. You can check some of our flights here. Well, actually, I didn't introduce a lot of myself. I'm from Quito. I'm from Ecuador, actually, and we have operation there. If you're gonna go to the middle of the world, that's also an option to fly with JetSMART. Uh, and Brazil, also a lot of fun places to visit. Cataratas de Iguazu, Florianópolis, Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Recife, and then actually this is very recent. Recife, this route to the northeast of Brazil, northeast, yes, of Brazil. Beautiful place to visit. Okay, now moving to bundles, to the product itself. Um, as I mentioned, we try to make it very simple. So these bundles that you see here, you're gonna see them across all of our routes. I mean, if you check the Santiago Iguazu, or if you check the Bogota Cartagena, it's gonna be the same bundle structure. We try to make it so that it can cover all of the needs. Um, but it's as simple as that. You'll see the same product all the way. And also for all of the classes of service, our classes go from Tango to Alpha in alphabetical order, and they're all gonna have the same opportunity to sell the bundles. So what do they have? The basic one is basically you have the right to sit in the plane. Uh, you won't know which seat, but the right to board on the plane, that's gonna be the basic bundle, right? You can have a handbag or personal item that can be up to 10 kilo. That is actually pretty good. Because of this model, I've seen a lot of influencers go with a backpack that you compress a lot so that you can uh, just get into playing with your personal item. Then you have the standard, you have the basic fare, of course, the handbag or personal item, and cabin baggage, the regular one with wheels, 10 kilo as well, and FlexiSmart, which is you can do exchanges without any penalty. I like a lot this standard bundle, especially for corporate products, for example. I think it's very useful if you just have a 3-4 day flight journey, sorry, and the possibility to make some exchanges. That's actually, I think it's very useful. Then you have the travel one, which is like a more touristy bundle. You just have the basic fare, the personal item, and the checked bag of 23 kilos. Um, that's actually, if we don't have today. what's the name? Ancillary. I mean, you cannot buy ancillaries standalone, but you can have this travel, which is we try to make it that way. I mean, you can go for a bundle which basically only has the checked baggage. That's what we try to do with the travel bundle. That's why it's interesting. And then we have the premium, which is basically has everything. The handbag, the camping baggage, the checked baggage, the selected seat, priority boarding, FlexiSmart. This is like, as the name mentions, the premium product of JetSMART. And of course, the seat can be in any part of the plane, including first first line of the plane, emergency exit. It can be at any part. You can anyway add ancillaries post booking in Manage Your Booking in JetSmart.com. There's actually the website for the US market slash US slash EN. But in any case, if you open that in a computer based in the US, you're just gonna have that automatically. You don't have to write that down specifically. But you can if you want to. I'll leave you 1 second at it. Okay, this is very important. Single commercial code. We have just one marketing carrier, and we've been like this for over 2 years now. And so what it means that we actually have different operations. We have JetSmart Airlines Chile, JetSmart Airlines Peru, JetSmart Airlines Argentina. We have been going with new airlines in the different countries that we open, especially specifically for domestic markets. But you will always identify JetSmart with the JA code. Okay, what you're gonna see across all of the markets regarding of the operating airline. But something that it is important for you to understand is that it's going to be different, the plate, um, depending on when you are based, when you are issuing the ticket. So for the US, if you are based in the US, you're going to use the 973, the JA plate, which is the one for JetSmart Airlines Chile. Um, Sorry, was there a question or comment? Okay,
I think
so
a mic just
yes.
went on. Continue.
Okay, don't worry. So you're gonna use the JA 973. Your tickets are gonna begin out with 973. In case you have companies based in, I don't know, in Argentina, Paraguay, you're gonna use the WJ and JZ in case you have companies in Peru and Ecuador. But I think that for the most part, you guys are based in the US, and you're gonna use the 973 JA. That's gonna be your go-to for the plate. So moving a little bit to the commercial policy of JetSmart, we're gonna just give you some hints, some tips, some basic information that we think it's important for you to go ahead and sell JetSmart. So the first one is that JetSmart fares are non-refundable. This is a very important. Of course, on this we are excluding anything regarding irregular operation. That's going to be different. We're going to talk about that in a bit. But what you can do is you can exchange as much as you want before the departure date or departure time. You can do exchanges. That's our recommendation for you to do. You can do change. You can change the name of the passenger. Well, let's go bit by bit. I think that's gonna be more clear. So in terms of date and destination changes, you can, and as I mentioned before the departure time, you can do it unlimitedly. You can, I don't know, exchange as many times as you want, but of course, depending on the policy of the ticket, you're gonna have to pay a penalty or not. You can check that on the CAT 16. They haven't eliminated that yet, so you can check if the if your ticket has to pay penalty or not. But in any case, we do have the CAT 31. We have had the CAT 31 for about a year and a half, so it's working pretty well so far. The automatic exchanges for Sabre, you can use that. And actually, just to mention this, I think this is very important. We receive a lot of feedback. take a lot of care in the feedback that we received from you guys. And the implementation of the Cat 31 was actually a product of webinars like the one we are having today. We received a lot of feedback that it was important for the agents to have the Cat 31, so we implemented it. So just to motivate you to get your questions or comments in the Q&A so that we can check on them later. Um, Change of name. I think that's a very great product that JetSMART has, and I think it's not very common in the industry because you can any of our tickets, even if you issue it in the basic bundle, you can make a change of name. You just have to contact the support email, which is over there. You can take it a picture. It's soporte.agencias.gds@jetsmart.com. It's a very professional team that I'm very proud of because they are experts of the industry answering your questions. Even though JetSmart might not be as new in Sabre in the GDS ecosystem, we have our team of experts that are going to answer your requests via email. And they have an SLA of 3 hours. They usually take less. They almost all the time they take less than that. So yeah, just go ahead and talk to them. You will have to make the change of name via them. We don't have we don't allow the name change directly via Sabre. You have to do it via us, but it's you can do it at any time. The cost is around ballpark. I don't know the exact number, but I think it's around $30 for domestic routes and it's about around $60 for international flights, which I think it's a great option. And instead of losing the ticket, just making a name change. Okay, cancellations in case of irregular operations. As I mentioned, we don't have refunds unless you have an irregular operation, right? When you have that situation, you can request that via BSP link. You would have to reach the same support team to get a waiver code. And with that waiver code, you can request that via BSP link. In case of you don't want to cancel your ticket, you want to have a change, you can make an exchange, a one-time exchange without cost. All you have to do is make a regular exchange, but with no additional collection. You shouldn't have any problems with that. You don't need any other waiver or any additional process. It's just an exchange with no additional collection. So the help center, of course, there's the support email, but we would like you to also explore the help center. You will find it in jetsmart.com. At the bottom of the page, you'll see that it's over here, help center for agencies. Our goal is to actually try to solve most of your questions via this website. Um, and what you will find is for example commands that we think were useful for you for I don't know quoting a specific bundle, or what are the right way to register the contact name, or the contact email, the contact number, because of course you want to make sure that we receive that information correctly in case of exactly irregular operation. So go ahead and check that help center. I think it's very good. There's also the very detailed commercial policy, the ADMs, and hopefully you don't get any of those. Oh, we actually regarding ADMs, our model is we don't want to charge ADMs. We just want to make the experience as simple as possible. We don't charge anything that's not out of the box in terms of I don't know, we don't get creative in terms of ADM charging. It's not our goal. We don't actually get money out of that. We actually get money for you selling the tickets. So of course go ahead and check them because it's important for you to know what are the policies. I don't think, as I said, we're being creative in this aspect, but of course, it's important for you to check the policies. So go ahead and check the help center. What else? Yeah, just a friendly reminder, and it's very important. this email over here, soporte.agencias.gds. Don't worry, I know the email is in Spanish, but they are gonna answer you in English. Um, they're they're very good in that. I mean, we actually have been working with the U.S. market for a while now, so don't worry, write in English. Don't force your way into Spanish if you don't feel comfortable with it. So so yeah, don't worry. Contact us for the specialized support. I think that's at least for the JetSmart part, and I'm leaving you with Victoria so that way you can move on with more information regarding Sabre.
All right. Um, I don't know if Jose, is there anything that you would like to add, or shall I start sharing my screen?
Sure, you can continue, Victoria.
All right. Just in case there's actually, I think, a good comment on the chat that's about the BSP link. When you are located in ARC, you probably want to go to the ARC instead of the BSP link, because I don't think that most of the audience in here is going to get access to the BSP link.
Great comment. Thanks, Victoria.
So yeah. So thank you everybody for joining. It's actually a pleasure to be doing this presentation for you. Of course, I do see some familiar names in the list of the attendees. So I know some of the agents in this training. I'm gonna go ahead and share the screen with you, and bear with me 1 second so I can just rearrange my screen. You should be able to see my Sabre screen now.
Yes.
Good. So, as you know, this is not really a Sabre training, but the idea is to be able to demonstrate all the benefits that you're going to find by booking JetSMART in Sabre. We're going to be doing just like a few basic entries that you probably know, and I would like also to review some of the things that Christian has mentioned about the support that you're going to be able to get, especially regarding Sabre. So I'm going to start by doing a basic availability from Santiago to Ezeiza, and I'm going to use the code JA. As Christian also mentioned, there are different codes for the airlines that are going to apply according to your region. In your case, it will be JA in most of the cases. However, let me remind you about the applications and the encode decode tool in case you just want to get familiar, in case you have maybe a branch location and another region, you can always go to our encode decode tool, and just by typing JetSmart, you're going to get all of those codes that you were able to see throughout the presentation. I'm going to close my applications panel. And if you take a look at the availability entry, and some of you may be using your graphical features, some of you may be using formats. As you know, that's totally valid and flexible in Sabre. I'm going to be doing a mix of both in here. So I'm going to just click on the class of service that I want to sell, and I'm going to click on sell. Most of the workflow that you will find with JetMart is going to be exactly the same as what we normally do in Sabre. So once again, as a reminder, you can just go through the process that you normally go through. So if you go graphical, you're going to be able to use your graphical features. If you like to use the formats in the cryptic layout, that's a possibility as well. So you're going to see my segment sold into my PNR, and we're going to go ahead and do a pricing entry. This could be whatever pricing entry you normally use. So we're going to do a simple WP. One of the things that Christian mentioned throughout his presentation is that there's different bundles or packages, or what we call in Sabre branded fares, that will be actually showing or providing different attributes to the travelers. There are a lot of entries that you can use in order to price those bundles in Sabre. But whenever it comes to find out what the name of that bundle is or what the attributes that they include are, I always like to recommend that you actually take a look at our widget for the brand options available. So even if I'm working on this classic layout, I'm going to be able to click on my pricing response. When I click on my pricing response, I'm going to be able to get all the rules, the basic rules that you probably want to know about the fare that you're about to book, like if there's a change fee, those type of things that Christian mentioned about the attributes for the different bundles that JetSMART offers. Now, one of the options that I do recommend that you use, and it's great to take advantage of, it's brand options available. If you click on brand options available, you will be able to see what you're currently pricing. That's the 194 price that I was seeing on the screen. But then I will be able to compare with all of those other bundles that an airlines offer. So right here, you will be able to make a comparison. You will be able to go to the right of the screen and change your mind. For example, if I wanted to go to the premium one, which is the one that includes all those attributes mentioned by Christian before, I can go ahead and I can actually select it and save that particular price instead of the 194 that we will get in before. This is actually showing to you the price for the premium. We're going to be able to see some elements that have changed. And of course, you're going to get the indicator of the name of the bundle that you have selected. Behind the scenes, as you may know, Sabre is actually saving this price for you. Now, pretty much everything else, it's going to work as the standard workflow that you actually follow with every airline that you work. There's only some few differences that I would like to highlight. One of the things, it's basically how we actually send to the airline the contact information. We are very much used to send to the airlines that require contact information via email or mobile in an SSR. So we are used to do 3CT CM or CTCE. One of the requirements or one of the differences that you're going to have to keep in mind with JetSMART is that you will be sending that information in an OSI. And it's a lot easier actually. The format would be 3 OSI, the airline code, which as we know it's going to be JA. And if it comes to contact information for the mobile device, again, we will be actually doing CTCM, then a space, and you're going to put in the number. So that's going to be actually one of the things that you may be doing differently than other carriers. The same thing is going to happen with the email contact. So instead of doing the SSR, we're going to do 3 OSI space airline CTCE, and then you're going to leave a space and you will actually add the email address. One thing that you may want to keep in mind is that in the OSI field, the at symbol is not allowed. So instead of the at symbol, we're going to use a double slash. So I'm going to go ahead and type my email address and I'm going to hit enter. Now, after you create the record, as we did in here, you price using whatever element you want, for example, the brand options available, you will continue to work in this record as you would normally do with any other standard reservation. There's a possibility for you to take a look at all the information that I'm sharing with you in the help center that Christian has actually mentioned. There's one thing for some of you that may want to use formats that I would like to just review. All of those formats for these branded fares that we know that we very much use nowadays, you can of course do. So there's a lot of combinations and you're going to find them all on the help center. So we can do a WPNC and then just add a Cross of Lorraine and a BR and then the code of the brand. All of those formats are going to be available for you on the help page. So just keep that in mind. However, as we saw before, out of the pricing response, you will be able to get all of the bundles available under branded fares, and that's a great feature for you to use with JetSMART as you get started and with any other airline. Before I actually wrap up with my presentation, just like a reminder, I would really like to go with you and take you through the help center that Christian has shown earlier. We have actually this agency help center where you will find, once you click on the agency's help, the GDS information. When you go to the GDS information, you will be able to see a section about important GDS commands, and that's where you're going to find all of those specifics that we were referring to earlier in the Sabre screen. You will see, of course, these by GDS, and if you scroll to Sabre, you will be able to see every other format like the DOCS that's going to be done exactly on the same way, but you have right here the specifics on the contact information that we mentioned earlier, as well as the pricing formats, including the bundle codes.